Hi, it's me again, Jill with Green Thumb Stampers for a Finally Friday video. Do I look a little bit like I did last week? Well, that's because I'm filming 2 of them in a row. I got some ideas swirling in my head and I just want to get them onto video before I totally space and forget what I wanted to do. So I'm doing another one today. Hang on. Today is going to be about size, because ladies, size does matter. Hang on, I'll be right back. Alright, so what I mean by size matters is your block size matters. You want to make sure that your stamp fits nicely on your block. This particular one fits great across. There's a little bit extra on the end, but when you ink it up, the stamp is a little bit big for the ink pad even. So my chances are that I'm going to ink it and get a little bit of ink on this block are good. I didn't on this particular one, so let me put my paper under my foam underneath my paper. And then when I come over here and I'm going to stamp this, because this block is right size, it's very well positioned. It's sturdy, it's solid when I put it down. It's not rocking back and forth in my hand. It's just a great size for it. And the Stampin' Up! Blocks have this groove for your fingers for you to hold on to. I love that about our blocks. So this particular stamp fits great on this block. This particular stamp fits great on this little block, even though this image you might think should be on like a long block or a different block, because I've put it at an angle from the way that it looks like it should, stamp. But because I can turn the block how I want to, I'm able to use this block and again have a great size, very sturdy when I put it down. It's not rocking back and forth. So again, even though it looks like it might not work, this particular one works perfect on this block. But when I come to stamping down the little berries, we're going to say perfect block. Well, it's perfect, but I don't want to peel this off. I might get my hands dirty. I don't want to clean it yet. I'm going to use it again. I don't want to take it off. And I don't want to have to try and look through it to line up if I leave that on there. So I'm just going to grab this block. This works. Perfect. Perfect block. Well, not so much. What's going to happen on this block is it's way too big. Way too big. You got all this extra space over here and you just need this little space where the berries are. So I'm going to try and ink it up. Oh, I got a little bit of ink on the block down there. I should wipe it off. I'm in a hurry. I don't want to wipe it off. I don't see it. See if well, this block is too big, so if you could see, it's got rockability in my hand. So I'm holding on to it, and as I'm trying to press it down, it's gonna, if I put any amount of pressure, it's gonna lean in that direction and possibly mess up my image. Or, as you can see here, where I didn't wipe off that little piece of my cinnamon cider, well, now it's on my paper. And now I have to try and figure out how I'm going to cover that up. I'm either going to need to start over. Oh, wait a minute. We don't need to throw it away. We could flip it over, because see, there's 2 sides to every piece of paper. So we can flip it over and try again. Or you can find a creative way to cover that up. Maybe you could put your sentiment over it, or put a ribbon or something. But it's still there. It's still on your paper, and you've got a mess now. So also, these stamps are stamp pads. When you've got a block that's too big, and if you put too much pressure on the stamp with these stamp pads that are very juicy, you end up with one heck of a mess. Highly recommend that you clean that off ahead of time, or when you put that down, and especially I got the foam under here for the cushion, you're going to possibly get it on your project. Your possibility of this messy of a block is very good. But you can also see I got some ink in between those little berries. I don't think you wouldn't press this hard, but on some of our stamps, if you press down with that ink in there, yeah, this one's not going to work. That will also possibly touch the paper. So I don't know if I got the smaller block, if that's, let's try it and see what happens. That will touch the paper as well. And then you end up with the inside, see how the excess, if you goob it up in your stamp pad too much and get that on the, around on the excess polymer, you can end up with it coming off on your project as well. So don't be heavy-handed and use the right size block. And then I'm going to show you one more example of what can happen if your block is too small. So now we've got the fern, or the, I'm using the poinsettia petals set. I got this branch, I guess, a pine branch. And I'm just going to use the block that I can reach. My image is way too big, but I'm going to use it anyway. So I inked up my green. Oh, let me start fresh. I think I used this already. I'm going to ink it down. I got the ink all over it. I put it down. See what's happening. Pick it up. I got a little bit of overhang up here and a little bit of overhang down here. And when I pick it up, there was no pressure from the block, so I didn't get the whole image. So how am I going to fix that? This time around I'm going to do it, and I'm going to push on it as if my finger's the block. I got the extra pressure. Well, now I have gotten part of the polymer from the side, and my stem is now extra thick because of the ink that was on there got really smashed down. You could also try and just ink up that little tiny bit that you need and come back, line it up, push it down. Didn't fix it, but it might fix it. So there you go, guys. Just a few little samples of what can happen if your blocks are the wrong size. Have a great week, and I will see you right here next Friday with Green Thumb Stampers Finally Friday videos. Bye, guys.